The Beach Boys, their album Holland from 1973, now on States and Kingdoms.
We heard this quite late, actually. I mean, like,
Like the autumn of our years.
well, no, we'd listened to all the other, late 60s stuff and early 70s stuff, really not calling the passions. We've talked about that. That album is still...
We got as far as Surf's Up, basically. Mm-hmm. And then, we didn't really listen past that for a few years.
So then going through, like, we used to go to the Bleecker Street record places and...
Bleecker Bob's.
And that place is really different now. Well, Bleecker
Bob's
is not there.
In the East Village.
Yeah. And we got Beach Boys Love You and this and MIU and a couple other, obviously.
Yeah.
But this was such a great surprise. It really, I don't know, we were just like so happy about this.
Overjoyed.
We knew Sail on Sailor.
Yeah. Yeah, I always liked that song, but I didn't know it.
I didn't know any other songs off of this.
No.
And I love this album.
No, it's one of my favorites.
From Sail on Sailor, which is such an incredible Beach Boys song, to Funky Pretty, which
is just this like irresistible, fun, catchy, awesome song.
Yeah, as he said, it's irresistible.
It really is.
It is great. So this whole album was just such a surprise. Like it was, I didn't know that.
Why did you tell me?
They wouldn't take me. That the Beach Boys were producing albums like this.
Yeah.
In '73.
Yeah, it's
because even we bought into the whole,
Mm-hmm.
even having listened.
Pet Sounds was the beginning and the end.
But even listening to Sunflower, Friends, 2020, Sunflower, Surf's Up.
A truck go by. We're flooded.
Still. I didn't know that they had really done anything. I thought that was Surf's Up was the end of like the golden period, but they still put out some incredible stuff. And this is great.
I can't even really explain. It's just such a solid album. Mm-hmm. The songs are so good all throughout. It's just it's one of my favorites.
I agree.
I hadn't listened to it for a while, and then we started listening to it again. And I want to listen to it more. I just want to keep listening.
Oh, good for you.
Can I go listen to it again?
Yeah, get out of here.
What was I going to say?
Well, it's an album also that, as incredible as Surf's Up and, is and some of the other albums. I mean, they don't all have something from Smile, obviously, but Surf's Up does. Mm-hmm. And this album, doesn't have anything of Smile. It does, and it really doesn't have a lot of Brian.
No,
they put Brian in a much smaller compartment.
Oh yeah, he's in a separate. He's separate.
This contains Brian.
But it's still the songs that he had his hand in. Obviously, you can hear it, but you can also hear all the other voices, and I mean. I don't just mean their voices. I mean, you can hear their takes on everything.
Sail on Sailor was written by like 30 people. They all claim... that's a confusing story. I'm not exactly sure what the real...
It sounds like Brian, though.
It does. But Van Dyke Parks thinks it sounds just like him.
Well, I've heard some of his album.
I don't know.
But I always love Sail on Sailor. I think it's such a good song.
We used to say, that we wanted to hear, Brian sing it or Carl sing it.
Right.
There is actually
nothing against Blondie, but it would be I just love I just love the Beach Boys, and I wanted to hear their versions.
It didn't take me that long to sort of get over any sort of resentment of non-Beach Boys being in the Beach Boys, because they. Well,
I mean, Bruce was assimilated. I mean, he was in there early, assimilated.
Borg?
So the Borg. The Beach Borg.
But on this album, and it's kind of almost like a shame that they couldn't kind of follow up from this, you know, for a number of reasons.
Because this works.
Yeah, it
this
does.
All
it
works
does work
really well.
If they had all continued this way.
The extra voices and contributions.
Like,
This album works.
I am not crazy about Call on the Passions. So tough.
I have to give that.
I know, and I'll listen to it more. But I have listened to it.
I'll give it a whirl.
It doesn't really do it for me.
What do you mean it doesn't do it for you?
Is that the second Spaceballs thing? Where are we?
Yeah, because I said, why didn't somebody tell me?
Anyway. But on this, it really does work. Yeah. And I actually...
guitar.
Blondie Chaplin sings Sell and Sell great. It's great.
No, it's classic.
I think it's, you know...
God, who doesn't love that song? It's just so good. Brian?
I know. Well, I don't know if that's true either.
I know. I don't believe it.
Anyway.
I think he liked it just fine.
So then you have the next song, Steamboat.
Right.
Written by Dennis and Jack Riley, sung by Carl.
John C. Reilly, I was about to say.
This is such an awesome song, too. And, you know...
Yeah. It's got, like, that bit in the middle where it changes, and it's, you know, it's so pretty. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, hum it for me off camera.
Oh,
okay.
Then it goes...
Copyright strike.
No, you said off camera. They didn't see that.
I don't know if you... Okay. You were on camera. Yeah. No, I know it. Stop.
Oh,
Is that the Flintstones mix? Anyway, you know, it was one thing, also it's really interesting, we're talking about the California Saga, you know, which is really Mike and Al.
Yeah.
Brian did contribute, you know, the going to California part, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's sort of inspired by, a little bit by Robinson Jeffers, which is interesting. It just gets to the point of...
All right, enough.
You know, that thing that Mike Love was doing, you know, like new agey. I guess I call it new agey.
Like it's like transcendental meditation songs, and
it doesn't get there. But it's Al that makes this, I think, work in a way. You know, Al always was interested in like folk and you know, and I think you know, because
it's like a traditional kind of folk
Mike
narrative.
Yeah, he can go a little too far, but it doesn't go too far. That's the point. Some of those things get too new agey, too hippie-ish.
Which works because it's like three little parts, right?
Yeah,
like 3 parts, and no, it doesn't. For me, at least, it doesn't take me out of the album at all. You know, it really fits.
No, it's a good centerpiece.
Yeah.
For it, and you know, I think, you know, anyone that would have preferred the you know, Mount Vernon, you know, the fairy tale to be the centerpiece.
No.
It's a valid, you know, you could make a point, but it would have taken up a lot more space than that.
And it's not...
A lot more space.
It's not, it doesn't have the same kind of like structure, like it's more like a song.
No, I don't think that,
it would have had to be different, I think.
It would have had to have been the whole album.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
It would have been a totally different album. Anyway,
Traitor.
The Traitor is an awesome song. Carl, you know, Carl's song. When one of the things we're talking about is Leaving This Town.
Yes, Leaving This Town. I love. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great song. You know, it really is, and it's a very early 70s sounding song, but it's a really good one. And for you, it's really funny because listening to it, I said, you know, it sort of sounds a little bit Steely Dan-ish, and it could even sound a little bit like late 70s, early 80s Genesis-ish, which is basically like everything crossing over perfectly for you. So, you know, some of that sound, I know that's why, you know, you love this so much.
That's a great song.
It really works.
And all the different leads singing, you know, they're all taking turns on the vocals. Yeah. It's really nice. Team effort. Only With You is a really sweet Dennis ballad.
It's very much like him. It really does sound, you know, I mean, that's his
style.
Yeah, the style he had developed, you know.
I dig it.
It's pretty. Yeah, okay. So we said funky pretty. I stuttered it, but I said it.
What's the
It wasn't funky pretty. Whatever. Funky pretty. It is one of the just like catchiest songs that the Beach Boys certainly did in the 70s, but really
and
ever. It's an amazing song.
It feels like just classic Beach Boys with the way the song shifts and then that ending hook that just kind of keeps cycling around with like the like high parts and like the Mike Love comes in and then it just keeps doing this thing.
And the whole album also has it has the piano, it has the way Brian played piano, which sometimes are almost like voices. The way he plays, it's and it's you when's this again? But and that is throughout the whole album. It's a very cohesive. I think it's a very cohesive album.
It is wonderful.
I do. No, it's just it's all just made that much more interesting with this Mount Vernon and Fairway, and this our copy is
it's a little crackly.
It's pretty nothing.
It needs a washing.
It's gotten a washing.
Asia treatment.
Just wash it.
I need to give it a bath. Yeah, it's a bath.
Wash this. But it just makes this such an interesting album altogether.
Yeah.
And I think because of the success of Endless Summer, because they
have renewed interest in the Beach Boys.
It probably
and
really
early rock and roll music
contributed to them not doing anything like this really again. I mean, Beach Boys Love You is Brian. It's very much just Brian. This is still a band, and Brian's not even. He's not involved to an extraordinary degree. Yeah. And, so once they... I don't consider them... They weren't an oldies act. What is an old... There was like 10 years.
No.
You're talking about,
it's like the Four Tops in the 80s on PBS.
But it's like, they were an oldies act in 1974 playing songs from, 8 years...
I know. Shut up.
That's not really an oldies act. Those really aren't oldies. But... they did do all that, and so you didn't get this, a little bit more different direction.
This is a very special album. Oh, and we were saying how funny that they went to Holland to write like songs about California.
Yeah.
Just like Steely Dan.
They did do that. I mean, it's totally different. I mean,
when Steely Dan's in New York, they write about California. When they're California, they're writing about New York.
That's just their quirkiness. I mean, they were just homesick.
Yeah.
Steely Dan. That is funny. But yeah, this is a great album. I mean, I think it is their last truly great album as a group, because Beach Boys Love You again is really very much just Brian
centered.
I mean, it is. Of
course it is. I think Beach Boys Love You is wonderful, and we talked about that in a different video. But I actually prefer Holland. I think I like this a little bit better.
Yeah.
If I have to choose.
I always did.
I don't have to. I don't have to choose.
There's some great songs on this. And just like, impeccably done. And, and this is a wonderful thing that Brian did. And
I'm glad that we have this. It's really
you gonna cry about it?
Something special. I'm not going to cry.
I promise I wouldn't cry.
It's been a rough day. I'm not going to cry. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed our talk about the Beach Boys Holland. Please make sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Let both of us know. Sorry. It's both of us. Let us know what you think. Should I do that again?
No.
Thanks so much. See you next time. New videos coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at States and Kingdoms. Bye.